war between Iran and the United States has expanded rapidly across West Asia, drawing in militant factions, regional powers, and a network of military bases spread across the Middle East. What began as a dramatic military escalation in late February has now triggered retaliatory strikes, drone attacks, and political mobilization across multiple countries. The latest developments reveal a growing pattern. Iran-aligned militias and armed factions in Iraq and elsewhere have stepped up attacks against American military installations in the region. At the same time, analysts say Iranian missile and drone operations are inflicting increasing damage on U.S. military infrastructure. A pro-Iran Iraqi militant organization recently announced a fresh wave of operations targeting American military facilities across the region. The group declared that it had carried out multiple attacks across Iraq, focusing specifically on installations used by the United States military. The faction, known as Suraya al-Dam, which translates roughly as Brigades of the Guardians of Blood, released footage that appears to show militants preparing drones before launching them toward military targets. In the video, masked fighters can be seen assembling equipment and loading drones with explosive payloads. The drones were reportedly launched during the night, a tactic commonly used to reduce the likelihood of detection by air defense systems. According to statements released by the group, several coordinated operations took place within a 24-hour period. In its message, the militant faction framed the attacks as retaliation for events related to the ongoing war between Iran and the United States. The group declared, in fulfillment of our religious duty and in retaliation for the blood of the supreme leader, the martyred Imam Ali al-Husseini al-Khamenei, and in deterrence of the aggression that led to the martyrdom of a group of young Iraqi resistance fighters, our brave mujahideen carried out 4 qualitative operations targeting American bases inside and outside Iraq during the past 24 hours. The statement suggested that the attacks were intended both as retaliation and as a warning against further military actions by Washington and its allies. In addition to strikes inside Iraq, the militant group claimed responsibility for targeting U.S. assets in Kuwait. Video footage released by the faction shows fighters preparing multiple drones, attaching handwritten messages directed at both the United States and Israel. Once prepared, the drones were launched simultaneously, forming what analysts describe as a swarm attack. This tactic overwhelms air defense systems by sending multiple unmanned aerial vehicles toward a target at the same time. Such methods have become increasingly common in modern asymmetric warfare. Militias and non-state actors can deploy relatively inexpensive drones to challenge far more sophisticated military forces. According to the footage, the drones were launched from a remote location under the cover of darkness, likely to avoid radar detection. The group has also claimed responsibility for earlier attacks on the Victoria base at Baghdad International Airport. Video released alongside the claim shows militants conducting reconnaissance of the area before launching a series of drones toward the base. Suraya al-Dam is believed to be part of the broader network known as the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, a coalition of Iran-aligned militias that have long opposed the presence of U.S. forces in the country. Since the start of the war between Iran and the United States in late February, these groups have intensified their operations. They say their attacks are intended to support Iran and resist what they describe as American and Israeli aggression. The escalation began after the United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes on Iran on February 28, targeting military and nuclear-related facilities across the country. The strikes also killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, marking one of the most dramatic developments in the conflict. Those strikes dramatically altered the regional balance, triggering Iranian retaliatory attacks and drawing militia groups into the conflict. The tensions have also spilled into the semi-autonomous Kurdistan region of Iraq. Late Wednesday night, drones were launched toward the city of Erbil, one of the most important political and economic hubs in northern Iraq. Witnesses reported seeing smoke rising near the area surrounding Erbil International Airport after explosions were heard. According to reports, one intercepted drone crashed near a hotel complex in the Saad Abdullah Conference Hall area, a location frequently used for high-level political meetings and diplomatic events. Other drones were reportedly directed toward the city of Sulaymaniyah, another major urban center in the Kurdistan region. Authorities are still investigating the incident, but the attack underscores the widening geographic reach of the conflict. While military operations intensified across the region, political demonstrations were unfolding in Iraq's holy city of Najaf. Pilgrims gathered in large numbers to take part in a ceremony honoring the late Iranian Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed during the early days of the war following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. The gathering quickly transformed into a powerful display of political solidarity. Participants carried portraits of Khamenei and chanted slogans expressing loyalty to Iran and its leadership. Many attendees pledged allegiance to his successor, Mojtaba Khamenei, who was recently appointed as the new supreme leader of Iran after his father's death. The younger Khamenei assumed leadership during one of the most turbulent moments in the Islamic Republic's history. Supporters at the gathering said that the Khamenei family would continue to guide Iran's resistance against its adversaries. The ceremony in Najaf also highlighted the deep religious and ideological links between Iran and segments of Iraq's Shiite population. For many of the participants, the leadership transition in Tehran was not simply a political event. It was a symbol of continuity in the broader struggle against perceived foreign aggression. As the conflict unfolds, new assessments are shedding light on the scale of damage inflicted on American military infrastructure across West Asia. According to analyses based on satellite imagery, verified videos, and official statements from both sides, Iranian missile and drone strikes have hit at least 17 U.S. military sites across the region since the war began. Investigators say the strikes demonstrate a level of preparation that suggests Iran had anticipated a potential confrontation. Some of the first targets reportedly included major U.S. installations in the Gulf region. Among them were Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, Ali Al Salem Air Base, and Camp Buehring in Kuwait, and Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the largest American military installation in the Middle East. These facilities play a central role in U.S. military operations across the region, providing logistics support, command centers, and air defense infrastructure. Satellite images reviewed by analysts show visible damage to buildings, storage areas, and communications equipment at several of these sites. Some of the strikes have also resulted in casualties among American troops. Video footage recorded on March 1 reportedly shows an Iranian drone exploding near facilities at Camp Buehring in Kuwait. Another attack on the same day struck a building housing U.S. personnel at Shuaibah Port. The strike reportedly killed 6 American soldiers and injured dozens more. Satellite images taken after the incident revealed that part of the building's roof had collapsed, suggesting significant structural damage. In a separate attack, a drone strike on a U.S. base in Saudi Arabia reportedly killed another American serviceman, bringing the total reported death toll from these incidents to 7 troops. Beyond casualties, the financial cost of the attacks is also substantial. According to military assessments, Iranian missile and drone strikes have damaged radar systems, satellite communications terminals, and other high-value assets used by American forces across the Gulf region. One of the most significant reported losses involves a long-range early warning radar system valued at more than $1 billion at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Several bases have reportedly been targeted more than once. These include Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait, Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates, Camp Buehring in Kuwait, and the headquarters of the United States Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain. Iranian attacks have also focused on critical military infrastructure such as radar systems and missile defense networks. Satellite imagery appears to show heavy damage to an air defense sensor near Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan. Military documents suggest that a single radar unit associated with advanced missile defense systems can cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Another video reportedly shows an Iranian drone striking the headquarters of the United States Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain's capital, Manama. The attack appears to have damaged a communications radome, a protective structure covering sensitive radar equipment. Satellite images have also revealed damage to facilities at the Al Dhafra complex in the United Arab Emirates, where advanced missile defense systems had previously been deployed. Investigators believe that a long-range radar installation in Qatar may also have been affected. The system, identified as the AN/FPS-132 radar, is an early warning installation capable of monitoring threats within a radius of approximately 3,000 miles. Such systems are vital for detecting incoming ballistic missiles and coordinating defensive responses. Damage to these assets could reduce the effectiveness of regional missile defense networks. Taken together, the attacks illustrate how the war between Iran and the United States is rapidly spreading across the Middle East. The region hosts a dense network of American military bases, many of them located in allied Gulf states. These installations now appear increasingly vulnerable to drone and missile strikes. At the same time, Iran-aligned militias are opening additional fronts by targeting American interests in countries such as Iraq and Syria. Analysts warn that the conflict could escalate further if retaliatory strikes continue. Both sides appear determined to maintain pressure. Iran's leadership has vowed to resist what it calls foreign aggression, while the United States and its allies insist that their operations are intended to curb Iran's military capabilities. The coming weeks may prove decisive. The appointment of Mojtaba Khamenei as Iran's new supreme leader has solidified the country's leadership structure during wartime, but it has also raised questions about how Tehran will respond moving forward. The regional network of militias aligned with Iran continues to mobilize, and drone warfare is becoming an increasingly central feature of the conflict. With American bases across the Middle East now directly involved in the fighting, the possibility of broader regional escalation remains a serious concern. For now, the conflict shows no sign of slowing down. And as military operations intensify across land, sea, and air, analysts warn that the cost, both military and financial, could continue to rise in the weeks ahead.